Maddie. I hope hopefully everyone's doing well. So I started tracking my calories, just writing down what I'm eating in that day, so I can kind of see what's going on behind the scenes. I don't know if it's my hormones or what, but I've been gaining weight without eating a lot, and I was just curious. So I know that my total energy expenditure, which is how many calories I burn in a day, is around 1,400. So me documenting what I'm eating just kind of puts it into perspective for me. So on average, I mean, any meal in today's world is going to be approximately 500 calories plus. I do try to make healthier choices. Like today for lunch, I had chicken and vegetables, which are both pretty low cal. But then if you use ranch, like a dipping sauce, that will affect your calories. Ranch is very calorie dense. So that's the important part about tracking and journaling what you're eating. So you can find the holes or the issues in your diet. Whether you're trying to gain weight or trying to lose weight, you have to know your total energy expenditure to have a baseline, to know where you need to go from your total energy expenditure. So if you're trying to gain weight, you're going to want to eat above that. If you're trying to lose weight, you're going to want to eat below that. So yesterday, my lunch was 550 calories, and then my dinner was 450. So that is 900? 550, 450. Yes, I think so. So then I had to add my coffee calories. That's something that a lot of people forget to do, is add their calorie consumption from coffee. Your coffee itself doesn't have any calories, but the sweetener will. So you have to calculate that. But that's something, like, if you're not journaling or tracking, then that's something that can kind of fall through the cracks, is your coffee calories. So that's why I wanted to just get it on paper so I can see, you know, like, are my numbers lining up? Is my mathing? So that leaves me with 400 more calories in my range. So if you have 2 snacks, consider any calorie deficit gone. So once we figure out our total energy expenditure, which is how much we burn in a day, mine is 1,400. So I have to eat below 1,400 to lose weight, if that's my goal. Or if you're trying to gain weight, you want to eat above your total energy expenditure, which can be calculated by AI. So if you're curious how many calories you should be eating in a day, you want to go ask AI to calculate your TEE, is the abbreviation, but it's a total energy expenditure. And it's based off of your age, sex, height, activity factor, a couple different things. But that way you have a good base point to know where you should be and make goals from there. So with my 2 meals equaling about 1,000 calories, last night whenever I went to go snack, because I was journaling my calorie intake, I was like, I don't have room for 2 snacks. You know, like, in my mind I wanted to open up the room, but I was like, based off of the math, I can only eat 1 snack. So I did. I only ate 1 snack. I tried to distract my mind and get my mind off of obsessing about food. And I woke up this morning and I lost a pound. So that's where the accountability comes in, and it's so important. We play mind games with ourselves. I'm the queen of it, so I can totally relate. But I was like, okay, if I think that I'm eating below my calorie range and I keep gaining weight, something's going on. My math isn't mathing. Well, that is the issue. I can only have one snack in my calorie range. My husband is a foot taller than me, and he has about 1,000 more calories than I do. So that's just the nature of the beast. You know, if you have a small body, you need less fuel, just like a small car needs less fuel. And a bigger body will need more fuel. So that's why it's important to individualize your calorie intake. So, like I said, it's a very complicated formula, but if you ask AI to calculate it for you, it'll do it in a second. And that'll be a good point of reference. So when I added all my calories last night, it came out to like 1,200, 1,200, and my total energy expenditure is 1,400. So I'm eating in a calorie deficit at that point. So writing it down, being real with myself, being honest with myself, I realized, okay, it's the extra snacks that I'm eating at night that is causing me to not lose weight and potentially gain weight. So I've cut it down to one snack, and my secret snack is pickles. Pickles are low cal, sometimes 0 calories, at the most 15. So you can eat on pickles all night. And I watched one girl, and she was saying, like, if you want to eat all day, eat some vegetables or eat some fruit. Fruit will be a little bit more calorie dense than veggies, but you could literally gnaw on a head of lettuce or a cucumber or a tomato, as long as you're not over dressing it. The dressing is where the issue comes in with salads. So we can't forget that when we're trying to account for our calorie range. And also our coffee sweeteners. Coffee itself doesn't have any calories, but the sweeteners will. So that's something not to be overlooked, especially when you have a small calorie range like myself. That's something, if you're not journaling and keeping track, you can lose touch with. So, and then I'm not gonna be tracking my calories forever, but it made me find the issue that I was having. It was the extra snack or two that I was having. So it just kind of puts it into realistic terms, and you just have to face the music. You know, you can play mind games with yourself, like, oh, what's another little individual size bag of chips? Well, it could be the difference between you being in a calorie deficit or not. So sometimes you just need a little check, you know, to get yourself back in line. And that's my story behind my calorie deficit. I did eat in one yesterday, and I did see some results in a positive way. Instead of the scale has just been climbing up on me, guys, like it's crazy. That's why I'm not sure if it has anything to do with my hormones or like even lymphatic drainage. Your lymph nodes is a system in your body that is not really talked about a lot. Doctors don't really talk to you about it, but it is a major, it's fluid that flows through your lymphatic system. And if your lymphatic system gets clogged, I was watching a doctor yesterday, and you have to start massaging at the top. For a lymphatic massage, you're gonna start right behind your jawbone, and he said you can do like a circular motion or even tap, or just like massage up and down. But that is the top lymph node in the body. So if this is clogged, then the lymph nodes won't be flowing underneath there. To get that fluid moving, if you're holding any fluid weight, this is where you start, right behind your jawline, and you just like massage and tap to try to get the fluid moving and unclog whatever is clogging your lymphatic system. Then he said that on your left hand side, that 75% of the drainage happens there, which I thought was interesting. So after you massage behind your jawbone, then you're going to want to massage above and below your collarbone. That you can do the same thing. You can do the tapping, the massage, or circular motions, but that's the main lymph node that we need to get unclogged to have good fluid motion. Then after you get this unclogged, hopefully, and the ones by your collarbone, you're gonna move to your underarm. You can kind of like just pinch like the flap. You can pinch that, tap it, or rub it to try to, this is where all your lymph nodes are, the places that I'm telling you to massage for a lymphatic massage naturally. But right underneath your arm will be the next spot. And he was like, if you're clogged at the top, massaging underneath is not going to do any good. He also said that like those vibrating things that they have that you can stand on, you want to do the lymphatic massage before you do the little device that shakes it and potentially gets things moving as well. But so you start here for the lymphatic massage. You can tap or do circular motions, move down to the collarbone, and then to the underarm. You're just going to want to massage that area and try to get the fluid going. And then in the center of your belly is another spot that you want to massage. If your lymphatics are clogged in this area, it can lead to digestion problems naturally. So we want to get the lymphatic system moving. But they do say that if you have a major clog and you're holding a lot of weight, once you do get it flowing, you might feel like you're sick for a day or two after, but that's because your body is finally processing all of the toxins in your lymphatic system. So like last night I was massaging this one, and then all of a sudden like I could feel like a fluid release. I don't know if anyone struggles with holding like water weight, but if you're gaining, 5 pounds overnight, it's more likely a fluid problem than a dietary problem. And the fluid is connected to your lymphatic system. So you can look up like a lymphatic massage and it'll show you all of your major lymph nodes in your body and give you an idea of where you should be massaging and the order that you should. But if you are holding on to a lot of fluid, definitely look into the lymphatic massages and just lymph nodes in general so you can educate yourself, because you may be just holding fluid and it's not actually weight, it's just water weight. It's not actually fat. So that's important, and it's just something that is overlooked. I don't think the doctors were educated a whole lot on it or about like treating it. So it is something that can kind of fly under the radar, and doctors might tell you, oh, well, that just comes with age, like weight gain or something like that, but that's not always the case. It could be your lymphatic system. And then like if you tend to have like cellulite or be bottom heavy, that could be a sign of poor lymphatic drainage. So if you do, like I said, have some cellulite and your weight fluctuates up and down a good bit, it could be due to a clogged lymphatic system. So always think about that. If you're having a problem in that area, it could be related to that. But so I've been trying to do a combination of both because I don't really know exactly what the issue is. I did identify a problem in my diet with my late night snacking. And then like, what time does everyone eat supper? Because I feel like we eat so early, and we used to have a goal of around 7:30, 8 o'clock, and then that has slowly crawled up. But now we're eating at like 6:30, which is like, okay, no wonder I'm starving at night because we're eating so early. So we're trying to set our time. That way you'll still have stuff in your belly and you won't get the craving to snack too much at night. But so me tracking my calories, like I said, I just wrote it down in my notes. I know there are some apps, but I feel like every app now they want to charge you for. but I'm sure there is a free app that you can use to track your calories. Some stuff is hard to identify the amount of calories in, like if you're eating homemade food or like a plate lunch. Do people have plate lunches elsewhere, or is it just around here? But like you can get a plate lunch, so that's kind of hard to know what was put into it and how many calories are going to come about from that. But just do your best. You can kind of look up like calories in a pork chop, and it'll give you like a certain calorie range. If your pork chop is fried, then you're going to want to add calories to that. But just to give yourself an idea, usually we'll be eating at least 500 calories per meal, unless like you're eating a sandwich that you made at home or something. But I was thinking about like making a sandwich every day for work, how much money that would save everyone. In this economy, things are just so overpriced, including cheeseburgers. But if you made a sandwich every day, what would that cost you? $10? I don't even know. Probably a little bit more than $10 for a loaf of bread, sandwich meat, and cheese, and maybe some chips, you know. Get the individual. So yeah, that's $75 a week that we spend on average for lunch if you're spending $15. So if you do 75 times 4 weeks in a month, then that would equal $300 you can save in just a month by eating sandwiches every day at work. That way you don't have to stress about what you're going to eat. Sometimes, you know, picking something out is a headache in itself. And sorry guys, my phone got overheated. But if you save $75 a week times 4, then that'll be $300 a month, which is a lot of money that you can save by just making a smart decision. You know, like back when people would make sandwiches, it's like, is it worth the trouble? You know, but in today's economy with the prices of food, absolutely. Making a sandwich for work can get you in a better place financially where you can actually save a little bit of money. So that's just something to think about. We're always about being frugal over here. We don't like to overpay for stuff. Who does, right? And we're just trying to make like the best decisions that we can. No one's going to be perfect, but we have to be accountable, you know? So always try to make the best decision for you, naturally. Everyone has different needs, different wants, different goals. But if you're trying to get out of a financial crunch, if your money's just not spreading enough for you to get by, that is a good way to try to get yourself ahead. Because spending $15 on fast food, it just seems like unethical, honestly. It's like we used to eat fast food because it was cheap and easy, but now it's expensive. Where I'm from, we can get a plate lunch that has enough to eat off of twice for less than what it costs you to eat fast food. So you can even eat from like some of the, you know, like sports bars or places like that for cheaper, and you get more food, better quality ingredients. It's like, I thought y'all were growing y'all meat in a lab. It should be cheaper, right? Not more expensive. McDonald's is always sketchy though. McDonald's meat has always been sketchy. I never really messed with their hamburgers a whole lot, but their chicken nuggets, whenever I was little, you know, probably one of my first Happy Meals, I asked my mom, I was like, this isn't chicken. You know, like a child can determine the difference of, you know, other chicken that you're served, and then the McDonald's chicken, it's like, it's too fluffy and airy. There's no grain in the meat. Like, it's obviously different. And I could even identify that as a small child. So I'm sure it's only gotten worse since. But I can almost, like, I can't even eat anything from McDonald's. But that's my little tidbit today for you guys. I wanted to hop on here and check in, see how everyone's doing. And I hope you guys have a great day.